She took the plunge because she finally just did it. Until you ditch that clipboard, you're going to be standing on those rocks debating whether or not it's a good idea.
Originating from deep inside the Rocky Mountains, transported through the power of the internet, and arriving inside your tiny earbuds. It's the Appraiser Coach Podcast.
Minisode.
Welcome to another Minisode, everybody. Dustin Harris, once again, hanging out in the podcast chair, just fresh off vacation. As of this recording, I've been back from vacation just a few days. And it was a great vacation. Can't wait to tell you about it and a lesson or two learned. I want to pause here first and remind you that we're sponsored by ANOW Software. ANOW is what I was literally just on. I walked down the street to have some lunch. I have a new office. It's downtown. It's within walking distance of about 6 or 7 restaurants. It's great. Not great for my physique, but certainly great as far as the cuisine goes. And on the way, literally as I'm walking down the road, maybe this isn't the safest thing in the whole world, but walking down the road, checking ANOW, see where we're at with our reports, because I can do it right from my phone. Check them out. Go to anow.com. Again, it's anow.com. All right, folks, just got back from a great vacation with my wife and our children, including our new daughter-in-law. She's not our daughter-in-law yet, so I guess things could change. I hope they don't. I love her to death. She'll be joining our family here in a few weeks. And we did a road trip. My wife, I've probably mentioned this to you before, but my wife and I, when we first got married, decided a couple of things. First of all, we were going to date each other every single Friday, or at least the Fridays that we could. And we make it work literally 3 out of 4 Fridays, or 3 out of 4 weeks, I should say. Sometimes we go on Saturday or another day if we have a conflict. But I would say 3 out of the 4 weeks every month we go on a date, and that's something that we've been doing for years and years. The other thing that we have tried to do is to go on a family vacation. About a week, maybe 10 days, maybe 2 weeks, depending on the circumstances, depending on our finances, depending on our workload, depending on a lot of other things that might be going on. But that has been kind of our goal from the beginning, and frankly, we have always achieved it. My wife says there was one year that we missed, and I honestly don't remember that, but I think it was a year that, maybe we didn't actually go in that particular year, but we went on a late fall and an early spring the year before or something. But for the most part, we've been, I'm 45 years old, and we've been married 25 years, and I would say we've gone on at least 25 vacations as a family. And it's been wonderful for the most part. Any of you have been on vacations with kids, you know that the memories of it are typically better than the reality of it, but that's okay. And we had a great time. So this year, due to the pandemic, we did not fly anywhere. We did not go anywhere. The last couple of years, we've really been blessed to go to Europe a couple of times, South America, some other wonderful places. This year, due to the pandemic, we decided to do something a little bit different. We purchased an RV and we decided to go to Glacier National Park. And honestly, we've never been to Glacier. It's only about 7 hours away, believe it or not, up in Montana. And it was beautiful. It was gorgeous. We had a great time. We had a little mishap on the way home. I ended up getting gas at a gas station, turning out of the gas pump at 33 feet, forgetting that my trailer is actually 36 feet. So nonetheless, it wasn't a great way to end the vacation, but for the most part, we had a really good time. And one of the things that we did was we hiked up to what is called St. Mary's and Virginia Falls. And if you've ever been to Glacier, this is a must-do thing, right? It's a long hike. It's about 3 miles, but it was a fabulous hike. It was a hot day. It was wonderful to cool off both of these are waterfalls that are absolutely amazing. St. Mary's is kind of a double waterfall, if you will. You've got one kind of pools and then it falls down to another. Virginia Falls is really kind of only one waterfall, but it's much bigger. I would say 80, 90 feet tall. Absolutely fabulous and wonderful. It was so fun. So fun to go up there. And we had a great time. So we get to St. Mary's Falls, and I don't know, that's about maybe a mile and a half in. We get to St. Mary's Falls, and folks, you gotta remember, it's not called Glacier National Park for a reason, right? There's a reason it's called Glacier National Park, and that's because, well, it's North America, it's the Rocky Mountains, and guess what? There's glaciers. Now, there's not as many as there used to be. We are told that when Glacier National Park first was established, that there were hundreds of glaciers. There's I think, 30-something, and really only 7 really big ones. And I think one of them is Jackson Glacier. We saw that one firsthand. It was beautiful, gorgeous, but as you know, the weather is changing and climate change and everything else, and glaciers are melting, but they're still glaciers. And as they melt, keep in mind what a glacier is, folks. And these falls, these creeks, these rivers that we were in, are cold. We're talking glacier ice melting, and within several hundred yards of the glacier, here's the waterfall, and it's cold. Now, it was a hot day, but we get to St. Mary's, and there is an opportunity, if you so choose, to jump off the rocks or jump off the bridge. It's about a 30-foot jump, maybe. Well, maybe not quite that much, maybe 20-foot jump into an ice-cold pool of water. And I'm literally meaning ice. I'm not exaggerating. It's ice cold. It is super cold. It's less than 50 degrees. Cold, 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 cold. So we get to St. Mary's, and yes, we're hot and we're sweaty and we're tired. And the kids say, hey, Dad, can we jump off? And I said, sure. And so I've got 3 of my kids there. The son and his fiance had wandered off to do whatever kids do that, well, anyway, we won't go there. And so I'm stuck with I'm blessed to be with my other kids, and my 2 boys immediately jump off. And they come out of the water just huffing, just can hardly catch their breath. Dad, that's the coldest water ever. I'm just laughing, thinking, yeah, you think I'm going to get, no. That's nice. It's fun to watch you guys. I'll go dip my hat in there and cool myself off a little bit. I'm not jumping in that water. Well, my daughter did not do this on the way up, but on the way back, one of her bucket list items, and my daughter, bless her heart, she's the daughter that took me skydiving last year, okay? And she has no desire to do skydiving other than to prove to herself that she can do it. This is the type of person she is. Dad, it scares me to death to jump out of an airplane, so I'm going to do it just to prove to myself that I can do it. Scares me to death to do cliff jumping into ice cold water, but I'm going to do it just because I want to prove myself that I can do it. So bless her heart. And the video is awesome. And I didn't even capture the whole thing. But literally, folks, she stood there for 15 or 20 minutes. She would go up to the edge. She would look. She would freak out. She would back up. This is an adult woman, okay? Freaked out. Completely freaked out. And I will just tell you the end of the story, and then I'm going to go back with the story, with the lesson rather. She did it. She finally got the gumption. She finally got the courage, and she jumped off the cliff, and I couldn't be more proud of her. And she came out, could hardly breathe herself, but she did it. And she did it because she put her mind to it, and she just jumped. In the end, folks, and you can start to maybe get an inkling of where I'm going to go with this, despite the fears, despite the hurdles, despite the challenges, despite the setbacks, she finally just did it. She put her feet forward, she jumped off the cliff, and she landed in the water below. Folks, if you have not jumped off the cliff for whatever service, whatever process, whatever system that you are currently using, when it comes to keeping track of your appraisals and your appraisal business, if you have not jumped off the cliff finally and plunged into the great world of ANow software, I encourage you, I implore you to do so. Folks, this is the kind of software that will, I'm not exaggerating here, trust me when I say, will change your business. Ask Mark Skapanitz, folks. Here's a guy that I encouraged him to go with ANow a year before he did it, folks. And I'm not taking credit. It was all on him. But I was talking to him about ANow software a year before he finally did it. And that guy will tell you that ANow has changed his life. And he's a one-man show. Check him out. Go to anow.com. It's ANOW.com. All right, folks, welcome back to the program. We're talking today about taking the plunge. We're talking today about just putting your foot forward and moving forward. I told you a story about my daughter who took about, 15, 20 minutes to finally get the courage up enough to jump off the cliff, jump off the rocks at St. Mary's in Glacier National Park, and finally jump into the water and freeze her tail off. But she finally did it, and I couldn't be more proud of her. And what was the difference? She sat there for 20 minutes debating whether or not she's going to do it, and she finally just did it. Folks, just this morning, I was talking to an individual we will call Bob. That's not his real name. But I was coaching Bob, and Bob and I have met. This is our second of 6 coaching sessions that he hired me for. So we're on number 2 of 6. And one of the last homework assignments I gave Bob was to watch and take notes on my mobile software or my mobile workshop. So on my website, I have a workshop that is, I think it's about 4 hours before a live audience where I take you through and show you exactly how to use a laser, how to use mobile, how to use Total. I show you my screen. I show you how to sketch and how to place the rooms and all these tips and tricks that will help you to be a better, faster, more efficient appraiser by using mobile tools. And he did that. And so that was the first session, and he did it. And when we were on the session today, he said to me, Dustin, I just need to do it. What I do is I find myself out there with my trainee, and my trainee's doing everything digitally, but I'm still out there with my checkboard, or my clipboard rather, and my paper and pen, and I'm taking notes. And I said, Bob, Okay, here's your homework assignment, buddy. Ready? There's no magic in this at all. By the end of the week, and this is Monday, by the way. It's Monday when I'm recording this. It's Monday when I did the coaching session with Bob. I said, Bob, by the end of the week, I want you to ditch the clipboard. That's your homework assignment. And he kind of paused and he kind of looked at me like, okay, really? And I said, really, Bob, by the end of the week, here's the deal. And I told him the story about my daughter. And I said, listen, she took the plunge because she finally just did it. Until you ditch that clipboard, you're going to be standing on those rocks debating whether or not it's a good idea. You're wasting more time, energy, effort, stress, anxiety than you ever would ditching the clipboard and jumping in. Folks, this isn't just about going mobile, though I think that's an important lesson here. What is it in your life that you absolutely know, because it keeps coming up over and over and over again? These are things, you know it's the right thing because it doesn't leave you alone. You're driving down the road taking comp photos and you're like, man, I need to do that. You get up in the morning and you think, man, I need to do that. You're going to bed at night and you think, man, I need to do that. Whatever that man, I need to do that thing is, my challenge for you is that you take some inspiration from my daughter and you jump off the rocks. Folks, if you are interested in the mobile workshop that I mentioned, go to my website, theappraisercoach.com, scroll down to the products, and you'll find it. It's a course. It's 4 hours. It will bless your life, I promise. Thanks for joining me today. We'll catch you next time.
You've been listening to the Appraiser Coach podcast with Dustin Harris. If you like what you hear, please give us a 5-star rating and post a short review on iTunes. For more in-depth insider information on how you can make more money as a real estate appraiser, visit theappraisercoach.com and sign up for the All-Star team today. Thanks for joining us. And now, get out there and create some value.
It's actually surprisingly only about 7-ish hours away from here, from where we live, but I've never been. I've always wanted to go. It's up near the Canada border in Montana. Sorry, editor, back up. Sorry, my Montana friends. All right, back up.